Early-stage cyberattacks come with subtle indicators. Analysts rarely see hackers loudly calling attention to themselves, telling them that the network is compromised until it's too late. It may be an unexpected connection from a foreign country. It could be an unknown executable running unauthorized scripts. It may even be an authorized login coming from a strange location. These are not aha moments. They're better described as "that's odd" moments. Here's what you should do when you notice them. Context is your best friend. This context is one of the most important tools incident responders have in their arsenal. Here are just a few examples of the kind of insight incident responders can leverage using threat intelligence. Indicators of compromise, or IOCs. If you know what kind of attack is taking place, it enables your security teams to check for specific indicators of compromise. This reduces the time it takes to determine how widespread the attack is and what kind of damage it may cause. Tactics, techniques, and procedures, or TTPs. If you know how threat actors work, you have key information for building incident response playbooks that will deal with their attacks. After that, all your team has to do is follow the instructions. Threat actor motivations. Knowing which threat actors are behind an attack helps your security teams identify the attacker's goal and act accordingly. Sometimes, generic threat intelligence data could be worse than no intelligence. In fact, generic threat intelligence data can actually make it harder for incident responders to identify early-stage attacks. Open-source threat intelligence data feeds aren't free. If you're in the cybersecurity industry, you can log online and get free open-source threat intelligence data feeds. But is that wise? Sure, these feeds are cheap and aggregate an extremely large volume of threat data. But there's a problem. These data feeds include almost every kind of threat, impacting every kind of tech stack. Open-source threat intelligence vendors do not curate this data in any way, because that would add to the cost of publishing it. So now, you are given this mountain of data, and you have to spend weeks and sometimes months to find a solution, time which you don't really have. Even professionals don't have the time to sort through the data. You have to act fast. This means that very few analysts actually take the time to conduct threat intelligence research, even though they have the data available. The problem isn't a lack of data, but a lack of context and time. Your organization might not have the resources to get any value from the mountain of data, and so open-source threat intelligence data feeds are not actually free. Actionable threat intelligence data is what you need. Instead of looking through hundreds of records to find the one special case that applies to your organization, security professionals need it instantly. If your organization is using SIEM, or Security Information and Event Management platforms to collect and analyze security event data, this is even more important. SIEM vendors often charge according to the amount of data used. If you use generic feeds, you can easily see how this will rapidly shoot the cost through the ceiling. In other words, security professionals need intelligence-led data that is verified, timely, and actionable. Log4j's lesson in vulnerability. The discovery of a long-standing zero-day vulnerability in Log4j shook the global cybersecurity community in late 2021. Immediately after the vulnerability was published, security practitioners around the world began scrambling to find out if they were impacted. If your security teams were using contextualized threat intelligence, they can quickly find out which applications use susceptible versions of this logging framework. If not, as was the case with Log4j, you won't need to worry about it. Implement actionable insights your team can use starting today. ProDeft's 24/7 threat intelligence platform, USTA, consolidates the threat intelligence landscape and provides access to the latest threat data available. But ProDeft doesn't just grant visibility to the threat landscape. We filter out the noise that prevents security teams from making use of that information. Request a demo to find out how ProDeft's threat intelligence platform can help your organization respond to constantly evolving cybersecurity risks in real time.